G'day, g'day. This is European Hidden Gem Stocks. I'm going to do a deep dive today on a British IT security company, and I think you'll enjoy this one. This is something I've never heard of before. Let's get into it. The company is called Intercede Group PLC, ticker symbol IGP, and it's traded on the London Stock Exchange. It's a very small company. It's a micro cap. It's only worth about 100 million Great British pounds, or if you're in euros, it's 115 million euros. If you're in USD, it's 135 million US dollars. So it's a very small company, very low market cap. It's trading at a multiple of the P26. So it's not very expensive, but it's not cheap at the same time. Founded in 1992, runs very lean with 108 employees. One of the good things one of the reasons it came up on my radar, came up on my screens, is that the insider ownership is high and the institutional ownership is still relatively low. So 58% for insider ownership, 29% for institutional ownership. Ideally, in a perfect world, institutional ownership should be around between 5 and 10%. That way, it's flying under the radar of the market, and then there's plenty of room for institutions to buy it and to give it a bit of a boost in the next few years. However, analyst coverage is still very low, so there's only one analyst that I know of is covering it on Yahoo Finance, so it is still a bit undiscovered. Do I own shares in the company? Not yet, but I'm tempted. I own too many positions at the moment, so I'm not willing to take on a new one because I don't want to own too many stocks and have to follow. But this one's very tempting. It's an interesting business, and I'll explain a bit more in the next few slides. So a quick summary on what they do. It's a niche IT security company. It's not an IT security company in the traditional sense like CrowdStrike, Sentinel, Microsoft Defender, those sorts of things. They create digital IDs and digital identities for authentication purposes. So if you work in government, if you work in a very high security type environment, hospitals, defense, police, that sort of thing, airports, digital IDs and authentication, proving you are who you are, um, that's very important for these sorts of situations and settings. So they provide business critical ID and authentication solutions. Now what I mean by authentication solutions is people get issued these physical keys and they can get access to places or systems or computer programs that they are allowed to get access to, and that's a digital key. That's how you prove you're the right person to be accessing an area or an IT system or a software program. That's what these systems rely on. Proof that you are the role that you should be in and that you're in the right area. So think of like entering a military base or at a police station. You have to hand over some sort of ID or some sort of uh, proof of your identity to get into a military base or military establishment. This is for that sort of situation. So how do they make money? So three main ways they make money is software licensing, support and maintenance services, and professional services. On the software licensing side, they sell their flagship product, their MyID, business critical ID software, and to their customers. And this is represented on the blue bar in this chart here. This is a slide from their most recent earnings presentation showing you how the revenue has been tracking for the last couple of years. And you can see the lion's share of their revenue is from service and maintenance, and that's a recurring revenue that's spread over a contract life period, and that's a stable revenue source. Whereas you can see the subscription revenues is a bit, or the software licensing revenues, the blue bar, that's a bit lumpy. It's a bit choppy, so it's all over the place. So they might have a good year signing some contracts, but that's balanced out by the service and maintenance ongoing support that they generate. They also have professional services, the orange bar, and that might be consulting direct to their customers to try and help them implement their solutions or change them up a bit to suit how they operate. So the next question is, why do I like it? And the simple answer to this is they can ask a customer or a business, how secure do you want to be, and they can tailor a product to meet whatever their needs are. So I listened to the most recent earnings call, and the way they explained it is they have a pyramid or a hierarchy of security, and if they ask their customers how secure do I want to be, and the customer goes, I want to be the most secure. We have business critical operations that can't be um, hacked, they can't be tampered with. We need the highest security software, and that comes in the format of the MyID credential management system. That's a combination of physical keys and other pass keys to access systems. The next level is the multi-factor authentication services provided by MyID, and that is a hardware, a mobile app, an email, SMS, one-time passwords that allows users to get one-time passwords that expire very quickly to get access to an area or a program where they work. And on the lowest level, there's just they manage security passwords, so security phrases and individual passwords. So a company can go, yep, look, I want a combination of passkeys, I want a combination of one-time passwords, and I want a combination of secure phrases. So they can really cater to any company that wants to have various levels of security, accessing areas, accessing software. Now, they can provide a mix of physical and digital keys. Another reason why I really like it, it's small. And the best thing about investing in a small company, if you can see where the revenue growth is going to come from in the future, there's massive opportunity for upside. So instead of investing in a multi-trillion-dollar company, that's going to grow slowly for the next few years, if you think a small company has got a bright future, there's a lot of upside. It's a sticky customer with low churn. So once a customer signs up for their products, they're going to be very reluctant to part ways with the company and try and seek an alternative provider. Password security, or pass keys and network security, internet security. It's a very, very highly secure, low churn business. You don't want to be changing providers, willy-nilly. Um, Listening to the earnings call, they're launching new products at a good cadence. So on the earnings call, they've talked about rolling out new features, new products in the next service. So you can see how they're going to generate the revenues going forward. Another reason, there's high insiders at the moment that have a good stake in the company, so there's skin in the game, and there's low institutional owners. So if institutions start buying this and it becomes part of more broader world indexes, then there's definitely room for it to run. And the other thing I like about it, there's not much coverage on Yahoo Finance. There's not much coverage on Seeking Alpha. So if it does start to take off, then people might get excited about it and it might go on a run. So some of the things I'm not a big fan of. This is just me. It's a bit complicated to understand. IT security is not my strong suit. I know when I have to log into some things, I need to remember a password and it's not fun. But if I was working in a high secure environment, you need to carry around with you a physical key. Otherwise, you can't get access to an area where you need to get to. But after a bit of research, after doing this deep dive, I did get to understand what they do, how they do business, what problems they solve for their customers, which is important. The other thing I don't like is that there is zero room for error. So if they fail to execute with a client, if they have some sort of mishap, or if a client gets hacked or there is a data breach under their watch using their processes and their systems, then that is a massive credibility hit, and it could lead to customers opting to go with other providers. The other thing I don't like about their revenues, which is more represented in the software licensing segment, is that it is lumpy. It does go from it does vary from year to year. We can see on the chart here from the latest earnings call, financial year 2021-2022, it was £9.9 million, and now in 2022-23, it was 12.1, and then the next year's was 20. And then the year after that was 17. So it's a bit lumpy. I'd like to see a staircase revenue chart. I know that's not possible all the time, but yeah. And there's also competition. These guys aren't the only ones doing this sort of thing. There are other providers that provide physical IDs, but yeah, so there is a risk of uh, losing market share to other people, and likewise being outmaneuvered by companies that offer a similar product for perhaps even cheaper than what they can do. One of the things I like to do is to understand the future growth story of the company. And what I mean by that is I ask the question to myself, how are they going to make money for the next 5 years? And to get this understanding in my head, I look at what they're doing now and I assume it will carry forward for the next few years. So if it's a company that's signing deals with government clients, with other clients for multi-million dollars over many years, then that's something that gives me confidence they can grow their revenues. I like the product and I think it will be useful in the future when we're in a world of undergoing a digital transformation. I can understand the value it gives to their customers with the MyID, both the multi-factor authentication methods and the passkey, the physical key methods to get the most secure options. That can be applicable to many businesses. Um, and they're getting some traction in some developing countries like the Middle East and Asia for these sorts of products. So it's something that I think has a bit of a future, but I'm not 100% sure. They in the most recent earning calls, they also talked about the impact of artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. And the way they explained it is in the future, in the AI future, where everyone's online, everyone's doing work in the cloud, everyone and everything will need a digital identity. And that's where multi-factor authentication comes in, that's where passkeys come in. And these things need to be managed by companies. Giving users access to the right things in the right places is something that's going to need to happen in the Internet of Things and in the world of AI, where people need to get access to computers and systems. And they've proven to, it's proven to work. They've proven to have a good product, and they've been proven to roll out uh, things in government settings, and they have a long list of customers. And this gives me a bit of confidence that they can grow their revenue solidly in the next few years. Something that did catch my eye on their website is a current list of clients and customers. Have a look at some of the logos here. We've got the US Department of Homeland Security, we've got the Department of Defense in the United States, we've got Boeing, we've got Lockheed Martin, um, BASF, the chemical group, United Health Group, Northrop Grumman, we've got Lloyds Bank, the NHS. These are large scale government institutions and they're private companies that require the highest security imaginable. So imagine a small cap British company being able to provide security services to these sorts of entities. That's something that they should be very proud of, and that's something very impressive, and that gives me a bit of confidence that this company can scale. And given what they do, it's not going to require too much uh, capital expenditure or fixed costs to be able to scale out and to provide services to hundreds of different companies. So it's a company that I believe is capital light. They only have 105 employees at the moment. I think if they can attract a few bigger names and expand this client portfolio, I think this company will do really well. So in conclusion, I really like this company. It took me a while to get my head around to understand how there's various levels of security required for companies and how they provide physical keys and digital keys, one-time passwords and password management. So I really like the company. I rate it 7 hidden gems out of 10. I really appreciate your time watching my channel. This is not financial advice. This is something I do as a hobby. And this information is not intended to be a buy or a sell rating. Please conduct your own research and consult with a financial advisor. Please have a look at my Substack. If you're interested in my deep dives, I do go into a lot more detail about what the company does, and there's a lot more information there. Please also have a look at my Patreon, and have a nice day.